Hey everybody. Um, let's see. We are currently now in the beginning of September, and something I had talked about. I had posted a video a couple weeks ago saying that I was going to make I was going to make an AXON plane like Ed did from Experimental Airlines. Except the AXON I'm going to make is quite a bit bigger. I was talking about making the AXON. It's got a 20-foot wingspan. Well, when I was at work the other day, I got to thinking that I would put together. I would try to take little. I would try to take little video clips, or little video segments, of the build process. Try to do it, step by step. As I'm progressing through the build, just in case somebody else decided they wanted to do this, they can kind of see how I did it, and what I'm hoping for, the final end results is a functional flying AXON plane with a 20-foot wingspan. I'm gonna see if I can keep my stuttering to a minimum. I mean that would shorten the video there alone, but I'm gonna see about taking little short video clips from the from the start to the finish, and we'll just kind of go from there. And when the final result is done, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people that say, hey, you might try this next time, you might try this next time, and we might see about doing that. So anyway, keep watching, and we'll see what happens, and see if maybe I can get a AXON plane with a 20-foot wingspan. Keep watching. All right, so when I got started thinking about my plane with a 20-foot wingspan, had to try to figure out how to make the wing for the plane, because the fuselage, I mean that's simple. That's just your regular regular bends and folds that Ed with Experimental Airlines talks about. Just that's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward there. Probably sometime throughout this build process, I'll get back to the fuselage, and I'm not gonna make any more of it, I don't think. But I'll show you my dimensions and what I did. So as far as the wing, my first thought, okay, we're talking, I wanted a whole wing with 20-foot wingspan. So I wanted it rigid, and I wanted a good increase over the top, a good arc over the top, to help create the lift, because I mean, let's face it, this is gonna be a big plane. So my first idea that I did, I came up with this sample piece, and it's just a small little scrap that I had laying around, and I cut a bunch of formers on the inside, just like your regular regular Armin style wing, except with this, I actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 individual formers stacked up right here, and then another 3 stacked up right here, because I've got 3 holes here on the inside, and as far as the holes, I'll explain what those are for later. I mean, the one here in the middle, that one there is for the wing spar itself. But I got thinking about that. I was just thinking that something like this, over a span of 240 inches, I mean, I was kind of thinking, that really might start weighing a lot, and it might start causing me problems. Okay. So I took this idea and I set it aside. Well, then I started thinking, okay, well, what about ribs? Like I believe actual airplanes have. They have these ribs that are in the wing for structure, support, like, where the airfoil is created. So I said I went and sat down at the computer. I just Googled airfoil, and I scrolled through a couple hundred different airfoils, until I came across one that I kind of liked, and I found one, and when I saved that picture. I went into a program that I've got on the computer. It's an older program. I think it's a Paint Shop Pro. And I took that image of the airfoil, and the program it's got a really nice and easy to use resize feature. And I took the airfoil, because it printed out just a couple of inches, and I went ahead and stretched that, or I resized that image so it would print out at 13 inches. So then I printed that out, and I actually took two pieces of paper. I had to overlay one on top of the other. When I got that printed out, I cut that out, and then I traced that onto a cereal box. So that there's the airfoil I came out with. I believe that was Honey Bunches of Oats. The wife eats this, good stuff. So I got that traced out, and this is now my pattern. Okay. I take my cereal box cardboard pattern that I made, and I just put it down on my foam board, and just started tracing out tracing out the airfoils, and I did some math, and I figured out that for the wingspan being 240 inches, I was going to end up needing 84 of these ribs, and here in a couple here in a little bit I'll explain why I needed 84 ribs. So I went ahead and traced these out and cut them out. So okay, there's one. I got to cut out my others. I've got 6 more here to go. I tell you what, when you're cutting out something like this, especially these radiuses, certainly use a sharp knife. It'll just save your edges on your foam board a little bit. But when you cut them out a little, cut them out a little fat. I cut them past the line, because I've got a really nice belt and disc sander that I'm going to use here in a little bit. Just chew away the fat, make them all pretty close to being about the same. So yep, pretty much now what I've done, I've got my ribs all cut, and I've got my sander out. It's got it's a 6-inch disc sander here, and a 4-inch wide belt sander here. For the most part, just to chew the extra fat off the ribs, I was just using the round 6-inch disc with the table. That seemed to work pretty well. So that's pretty much what I kept on doing. And what I did is I took the ribs that I just cut out, and went ahead and stacked them all together on top of each other. Got the sander going, and just the best that I could. I'm certainly no pro, and I'm not an extreme perfectionist. But the best I could, I held them together, and I just rolled, took the ribs, and I just put them on the table, and I rolled them along the sander until they were pretty close to each other. Then I took them to the belt. I held them together and just kind of put them. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera there. Put them together on there until they were came down to the line on my first rib. Then they're all pretty much symmetrical. There's some imperfections, but I think when it comes to the final result, when you get these spaced out and you bend you bend the foam over the ribs, you're not going to tell any minor imperfections. So I figured that was pretty good. We're gonna get on to the jig that I used to drill my holes for the wing spar and my connector rods. All right, so now I've got my drill press set up because I've got to drill 3 holes in the ribs. The 2 outer holes here are actually for what I plan on using to connect all of my wing sections. Is taken a trip up to Harbor Freight where my wife works, and I picked up these. It's made by Centec. It's a 3/16 inch fiberglass wire running kit. For the kit comes, it's 33 total feet, and what it is, it's just, put that there. It's just this lightweight fiberglass rod. And it's got these screw-on. It's got these screw-on connectors here. You can thread one into the other one. You know, and come up with a total of 33 feet. And I was thinking that I would run these through these 2 outer holes just to join everything together. You know, like I said in that first video when I first talked about this plane, I've got this 3/8 inch PVC that I'm going to run through those holes, and then this will go in here. And I think that will hold everything together. So to get that done, put that over there. Get that done. Come over here. I've got my drill press set up with a little jig that I made. The drill bit that I'm going to be using, it's a 1/2 inch, because that's a 1/2 inch is the outer diameter of that 3/8 inch PVC. As far as the placement of the holes, you know, I didn't use any science or magic. You know, I just kind of, well, that looks right. So, you know, take my one rib, and you know, I put it in here, and you know, it goes through right there. The cool thing is, you know, I put this other piece of wood up here to act as like a fence, because I can actually take 4 of these ribs. Get them all lined up in there, and you can actually do 4 at the same time. Those out. See, there we go. There's the first hole, done in 4 of them. So I've got 3 more here to do real quick, and then we're gonna jump over to drill the other side. Okay. All right, I've got my jig reset so I can do the back holes. I just slid everything over, and yeah. There we go. I'm still using the same 1/2 inch drill bit that I used on the first one, and again, I can do 4 at a time. Just getting my ribs lined up so they, you know, kind of you know, match each other, and get them flush against my back fence here, and get them nosed up here on my front fence right there, and we'll drill this hole. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of weird using a bit that's it's a high-speed steel drill bit to drill foam, but it actually does a real good job. And something I'd like to say to my 7th grade shop teacher, Mr. Clare, if by chance you come across this video randomly, I'm sorry that my hand was that close to the drill bit, because I know you would frown on that severely. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and get my other holes drilled in my other 3 ribs that I've got here, and then we'll be done with the 1/2 inch bit, and then we'll get the hole drilled for the spar in the middle. Okay, shut that off. Okay, so we've got the holes drilled for the outer 2 holes using the 1/2 inch drill bit, and it actually goes through the foam really nicely. It doesn't tear it up. To get this bigger hole for my actual wing spar, because my spar I plan on using. I got this. What is that? This is 1/2 inch PVC, and this is what is that? This is a 1/2 inch poplar dowel rod. Now the inner diameter is actually, it's a bit more than 1/2 inch. So to make this fit the inside of this hole here, I'll probably wrap like masking tape, little rings around here, just to take up that space a little bit. But we'll set that over there. For my spar, I plan on running this 1/2 inch PVC through the center of the ribs. That'll be inside the wing. Yeah, and actually I forget where I was going to go with that, so we'll just set that aside. To get this hole, the outer diameter of that 1/2 inch PVC is 7/8 of an inch. Now I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a 7/8 inch drill bit. But what I do have, come over here. What I do have, I have a 16 piece Forstner bit set that my wife got me a couple years ago for Christmas, again from Harbor Freight. And I don't know if you guys know what a Forstner bit is, but this here is a Forstner bit. I mean, these things are serious. You see, I mean, it's got teeth here on the outside. It's got a point right there, so when you get that started, I mean, it's not going to wander off. It shouldn't vibrate around. These things are great. I mean, you want to drill a massive hole in some wood, these things are the things to use it, or to drill a big hole. Or they've even got them down to 1/4 inch. I think my biggest here is 2 1/8. Absolutely love this set. I absolutely love this. Got a case and keep all of my Forstner bits together. So yeah, to drill that hole there, I used a 7/8 of an inch Forstner bit. I got the drill press set up, so let's go over here. I've got my 7/8 inch Forstner bit right here. I've got my jig realigned. Now something I did find when I was first doing this, I couldn't drill through 4 of these at the same time, because the Forstner bit actually grabs the paper and pushes it down. Yeah, the foam inside gets chewed out, but that paper actually gets stuck inside. You get stuck inside the Forstner bit. So what I was actually ended up limited to doing was drilling them 2 at a time. It's unfortunate, it takes a little longer, but it actually does still a really good job. So got these again, pushed up against my my 2 fence pieces there, and we'll go ahead and drill this hole. Okay, and see here, that right there is exactly what I was talking about. The Forstner bit doesn't actually, tear the paper out of the way like a drill bit does. It just kind of pushes it down. But the foam gets cut right out of there real good. You gotta get in there and clean out that paper real quick. Just careful, man. These things are sharp. Yeah, you get that paper out of there, but there's the holes for the wing spar. Okay, well, now that I've got that done, probably in the next segment we're gonna be talking about how to put these actually into, or gluing them onto the foam board and actually making the airfoil. All right.